All right, so we've gone over the kits for Aventurine Waveflair and Robin Samarito a few times now at this point. Now we're going to be talking about their individual investment levels, whether you should be getting their Eidolon, whether you should be getting their Light Cone, so on and so forth. What would be the better strategy? And we're going to be going over Aventurine, his Light Cone first, and then we'll go over the Eidolons. So the Light Cone, it's going to increase his crit rate. It's going to be increasing his whenever he uses his elation skill, it's going to be getting hype, which increases his speed by 20%, and that's very pivotal for one of his traces right here. If the elation skill is used different from the last elation skill, and additionally gains trend, which increases the wearer's elation by 36%. And at the start of every wave, or after the wearer uses an elation skill 3 times, you gain 1 skill point. So you have the possibility of recovering 2 skill points within a turn, depending on team composition. So very, very strong. You get crit rate, you get speed increase, you get elation damage increase. So key 3 different factors there. Now for the Eidolons, E1, you get all type res pen increased by 24%, and every time Aventurine gains 10 points of fever, he can trigger his talent to use cheers to the blazing summer. Very good. In terms of E1 to S1, I think the S1 is probably better. All type res pen is very nice, but you get the additional crit rate, you get the additional speed, which, as I said, is very important when it comes to right here, as for every 1 point exceeding, you further increase your overall elation damage. And if you go back and look at his kit, right, the elation skill obviously is doing elation type damage. It's just very, very good to increase his overall elation damage, as the primary factor with most of his damage is not necessarily the skill of the ultimate, it is actually the elation skills in the hot instance. So that is very pivotal. E2 increases the max limit of fever to 50 points and additionally gains 2 points of fever after using skill, ultimate, or the elation skill. So that's very good, increasing overall fever, obviously, right? It's very good. And then increasing the total amount of fever that you get from the skill, the ultimate, and the elation skill. So what exactly is that going to be looking like? Well, the elation skill is, where is it? Should be consumes all fever. Yeah. The skill up here is 4 points. It'd be 6 points, and then the ultimate, it'd be 10 points from the ultimate. So obviously E2 is the best for like an early game, mid game investment level, to get more fever instances. Otherwise, I would say just get the S1. E4, damage dealt by Aventurine ignores 18% of the enemy target's defense. That's really good considering that he wants to be moving a lot of actions, a lot of elation skills. I just think that investment level wise, going up to E4 just to get that, I don't think is necessarily worth it. E6, elation damage dealt by Aventurine Mary makes by 25%, so it's increased after Aventurine uses the ultimate 2 times. All subsequent elation skills used become the increased version of his elation skill. Additionally, deals damage outside of the hot instance. It no longer consumes fever, so that's okay. Very interesting because the upper limit is 50 points. I don't know how necessarily this is going to work if you continuously get the fever, because the Light Cone, maybe I'm just misreading it. Light Cone, let's see here. No, okay, maybe I'm just misunderstanding. So between investment wise, what do I think would probably be best? Well, and again, you know, when the character gets closer to release, we'll talk more about substitute options, but I think S1 would be the better option for him. Then I would say to go E1, getting all type res pen in conjunction with what the Light Cone provides is very good. Then E2, I think, is probably like the maximum you should be going for at this current state, right? Everything could eventually change, but that is just what I think. E4, in terms of investment wise, I don't necessarily think it's worth it. I think you can just completely skip E4. E6 is really nice, but again, it'll be interesting to see how the fever is going to work if you're not consuming it. Obviously that's really nice, right? But and then the damage right here, I just don't think necessarily it's worth it. E4 to E6, truthfully, if I was going to be pulling Aventurine, which I think I'm probably skipping, I would probably just get the S1 and just be cool there. E2, E1 are both very good. Outside of that though, I don't think further investment would be worth it. Now, would it be worth it if you're like on a follow-up attack team? I still think E1 or even S1 would be good. S1 would probably be the best still. E1 is really nice, being able to increase your all type res pen. But yeah, I don't know. So okay, yeah, so that's all.